Ngayon na, pinangungunahan ni dating Press Undersecretary Robert T. Rivera at ni Lady Eliza, winner of the 2022 Radio and Online Host of the Year Award mula sa Asia Pacific Luminaire Awards sa kanilang segment na Oh My Arms. It's culture, health, and wellness, business at iba pa. Tuwing Lunes at Miyerkules, 1:00 hanggang 2:00 ng hapon. Pilipinas, ngayon na!
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are worldwide. At sa loob po ng ating bansa, mula Apari hanggang Hulo, magandang hapon pong muli sa inyong lahat. Please allow me now to take off my mask because as you very well know, as usual, we are protected by our Ozonizer 2C Body Armor Necklace. At pwede ko na po isuot ang aking mahiwagang shades. Yes. To cover my ano tawag doon, sweetheart? Eye bags. Now, maligayang karawan po sa lahat ng mga nagsa-celebrate ng kanilang mga birthdays today. Maya na lang po namin kayo iisa-isahin. In the meantime, nais ko po munang batiin ng big congratulations sa Isuzu Gencars Makati Dealer of the Year Award for 2022.
Yay! Congratulations.
Chairman Edgar A. Cabangon and the entire Isuzu Gencars employees and staff and officers. Congratulations. Wala nang makatalo pa sa kanila year after year, no? And also, we'd like to greet a very happy anniversary to also one of my lady boss, the Mayor Tina Diaz, and the Vice Mayor Paeng Diaz for their 31st year wedding anniversary.
Blessed happy anniversary po, Mayor Tina and Vice
May
Mayor
you have
Paeng.
many more to come.
Yes.
Also, dahil po we have the distinguished guest direct from before New Jersey, now Pennsylvania. I'd like to turn you over now sa nag-iisang Miss Universe ng buhay ko. Lady Eliza, take it away.
Thank you so much, aking Yusek Robert. Mga ka-IZ, mga ka-PNN, kumusta po kayo? Siyempre, masaganang biyaya at umulan ng pagpapalang araw po at buhay ang aking pagbati at dalangin para sa inyong lahat mula Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao, saan man po kayo naroroon, ano man po ang inyong pinagdadaanan. Maya pagat panapon sa Kapampangan, naimbag nga malam sa Ilocano, masantos siya nga rem sa Pangasinan, marhay na udto sa Bicolano, maayong hapon sa mga Cebuano, tsamag kuyab in the Batanes Islands, mayad nga hapon sa mga Aklanon, buenas tardes sa mga Chabacano at sa ating mga kababayang Muslim. Peace be upon you. Assalamualaikum. And because Pilipinas ngayon na can be seen and heard worldwide, please allow us to greet you hello at random languages. Hola, aloha avakeya, marhaba, guten tag, bonjour, здравствуйте, ciao, ni hao, konnichiwa, annyeonghaseyo, sawadee, sin ciao, namaste, prin haunda. Yusek Robert, we're so honored to have with us this afternoon our very special guest, direct from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
He is an advocate for overseas Filipinos' public health, transformative political change, and patriotic economics. Mamaya pa-explain natin yan. He is also a community organizer and leader, and a columnist at the Philippine Daily Mirror, a New York-based web portal, news and opinion publication under the byline Thinkers Thinking. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Chris Fernandez.
Good afternoon, Dr. Chris.
Thank you very much for that gracious introduction.
Yes.
And, hopefully, we can get on with our topic. And,
yes.
Our privilege po talaga to have you here.
Of time, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Meron akong nag-challenge ako doon sa word na yun. Can you
napitan?
explain to us about patriotic economics?
Yun muna.
Ang ganda ng meaning.
Sige.
Oo.
Hindi naman siya too deep, no? Economics, of course, is dealing
Economy.
with the economy, and patriotism is patriotism. But when you put the two together, that's when it becomes hard.
Yeah, hard.
Okay.
Harder.
For instance, in a situation where an economy, kaya announced lang recently ng ating Department of Finance, the Philippine economy grew by 7.6% GDP.
Yes.
And of course we will clap our hands, right?
Yes.
But then you insert patriotism in the equation, you begin to ask the questions,
Did it
which
help?
part of the economy or which part of the population benefited from the 7.6 increase in the GDP.
Yes.
So ngayon yung inequitable distribution, income inequality, yung mga nasa laylayan, yung lalo bang naiwan, yung 7.6% ba yun, napunta ba sa top 1% ng mga
Taipans, tsaka
yes. And the
rich
well-to-do
kids.
and so on and so forth. So pagka ganon na we do not inject patriotism in whatever it is we do with the economy, we will inevitably repeat history of other countries, even ours. You can only oppress a people so long. Right? It took our elder generations under Spain, the colonizers who oppressed us, our people, 377 years.
377.
After a while,
I
there
thought
was a time
333
when
lang.
it took 26 years before we did something. And then at one point there was a president who sat only for 3 years because we had version 2 of some revolution. And the reason I don't mention and become more specific is obvious. We don't need to point fingers. We just need to learn
from
the
past
mistakes.
mistakes.
Now, if you go back far enough, for instance, those who are the elite, the people who actually control countries. We give examples of America and France. America back then was under the monarchy of the United Kingdom, and obviously the 13 colonies in America decided that they've had enough of taxation without representation, and they decided to revolt and create their own
government,
their own government. And at that point in their history, they were also blessed, with founding fathers that ito pasaring din na George Washington did not go out to assassinate Madison, Jefferson, Hamilton, and Adams, and Benjamin Franklin. Sadly, in the Philippine history, nagsucceed tayo. We had a revolution, and then they had a convention, and then somebody ordered the assassination of somebody because they were
not in the same wavelength.
So, had we been so blessed as America to have had founding fathers who were real patriots and put themselves aside. In fact, George Washington refused to be president. He was prevailed upon by all those after the revolution to become president. And he was being offered presidency for life.
Oh, wow.
And yet
no elections.
He decided to serve only 2 terms and give up the. So, yung patriotic part, France, for instance, Marie Antoinette is the most popular story.
Yes.
Feed them cake. Yung pala, ipakakain na cake yung mga may amag na and so on and so forth. So medyo gagalit na yung mga tao. So they had Bastille Day.
Yes.
And the monarchy were basically guillotined.
Yes.
So my appeal to the elite and those who really control our republic, go back to these lessons.
Okay.
Because if you don't learn from that,
how can you move forward and achieve the success?
And prevent,
the desired success.
And
prevent the chaos.
Because at the chaotic ultimate end, the established elite will pay a price.
Yes,
It is those
eventually
those who are being oppressed and
will have to
they will rise up. You cannot oppress the people forever.
Yes. Now, speaking about oppression, now I remember that this coming Wednesday, you're going to be in fact, right after our program, you will have to rush back with your ongoing event, no?
Yes.
Which is also related to our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal.
Very much.
Now, I understand that the word dapitan is one of your battle cry. Can you please tell us what dapitan is all about?
Yes.
And in terms of your Rizal event today?
Yes. Actually, the ongoing event today is at Manila Hotel, is the International Assembly of the Order of the Knights of Rizal.
Yes.
So we gather from all over the world. There are 192 chapters of the Knights of Rizal. Over 60 of them are abroad, and over half of those are in the United States. So we've today gathered for the last 2 days in Manila Hotel to celebrate the International Assembly. And during these meetings, we have plenary sessions as well, discussing what the Knights of Rizal might be able to do to help the country.
Yes.
And among the projects that we are implementing is called Project Dapitan, and that being an acronym for the Development Assistance Program, integrating technology, agriculture, and entrepreneurship. Medyo may daya doon yung last letter. It's phonetic. Dapitan.
Okay.
Now, Project Dapitan, in a nutshell, is livelihood projects. The basic context is that we solicit funds in the U.S. No? So, at this point in time, of course, the grand plan is to involve all overseas Filipinos to participate in this program. So we created what we call livelihood modules. Each module costs around 200,000 pesos. We go to communities, talk to the LGUs, and the first credential we look for is, do you have a seal of good housekeeping?
Good housekeeping, yes.
So once you can show us that, because most mayors will display it on the wall proudly.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And they even publish it in their social media.
We got the seal of good housekeeping. So, for lack of a better metric, we use this seal of good housekeeping as some indication of good governance.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And Project Dapitan is different in a way, because the first thing we tell the LGU then is, you will never touch the money.
Okay.
And we also tell the beneficiaries, you will never touch the money.
Okay.
So the beneficiaries immediately, how is this going to work if we don't touch the money? Okay, so and when we go to the communities, we ask them, what are you good at? What do you know already what to do?
Yes.
We don't have...
What is your expertise?
What is your expertise? What is the prevailing livelihood that is available around in your own area?
Yes.
So this way we save a little bit of time, because then you have to go into training,
Correct.
skills development. You try to bypass that and save time.
Yes.
And
Because what
implement
because what I understand is that if they are good, for example, with weaving, then it's the area that will be needing some funding.
Yes.
And since because weaving is their expertise already, surely they have their own market. Then just like what you're saying, you bypass some of the training and some of the other components.
Growing pains, you bypass some of those hurdles. So in this way, we also integrate financial literacy, values formation. So it's not uncommon for our projects to have a priest involved, for instance, or a local pastor, or in some cases an imam.
Yes.
Because now we have word from our benefactor from New Jersey. She's now decided to fund 2 more modules, one in Pulo Pandan, Negros Occidental. And the other day I was at the Department of Migrant Workers, and I had some collaboration with them, and during the discussion they said, the people in Marawi who have been displaced by the siege of Marawi are still displaced. So we had some good discussion, but that's going to take too long. So basically they're saying we need to implement a Project Dapitan module in Marawi City to help whoever or whatever number we can help.
Yes.
And with our benefactor from New Jersey, we will be able to, in fact, start that process of implementing a module of Project Dapitan in Marawi. And initially, the discussions were revolving around either a bakery or dressmaking.
Yes.
So, yan ang medyo that came out to the surface immediately.
Okay.
But I had made one request with them na I would prefer to go there myself and speak to the beneficiaries and ask them, in fact, dressmaking nga ba o gusto
Or
nga ba
bakery.
nila mag-bakery
Or mag-trading post.
Yes,
you,
trading
you
post.
remember that Marawi or even Zamboanga, they are #1 trading post
Yes,
before.
yes.
And business were booming there
Yes,
before the siege.
So apparently, there are problems that are beyond our capacity to solve. But the situation where you have people with zero or little income, this we can help with Project Dapitan. So what we're trying to do here is, in fact, a permutation of, I don't know if you still remember this lady, Janet Napoles. She to me, is a genius. But she injected malevolence into her genius. Right? So, to put it mildly.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
The rumors were it was 20 billion pesos worth of malevolence. So, her basic instrument was the fake NGO.
Okay.
She had so many NGOs that were using the same address at a mall.
Okay.
So, that was the instrument, weapon of choice. She weaponized the NGO. And those were fake NGOs. So now, in my mind, if you use her genius, so the idea of Project Dapitan, I will tell you, is not original because I part of it is from Project Dapitan and other livelihood projects that are already all over the place. But suffice it to say, we tweaked it a little bit to make it more effective with literacy, financial literacy, with values formation, and the project also requires the recipients in a one-page contract, if you can call it that. At the last paragraph, it says they are required to allot 5 to 10% of their profits, net profits, 5 to 10%. Itatabi nila yon, iipunin yon, at bandang huli, sila na dating beneficiary, dating tinulungan, sila naman ang tutulong.
Doon sa next.
Susunod
sa
mga
next
grupo ng mahirap.
Yes.
Requirement po yan. So if they say ayaw namin tumulong sa kapwa mahirap, hindi kayo pwede. Hindi kayo pwede dito. So the grand vision is, if you create one module, given time, makaipon sila, tutulong sila. Yung one module, magiging 2 module yan.
Correct. Okay. Eventually.
So yung 2 module na yan, eventually, hindi yan magiging 3. Magiging 4. Kasi yung 2,
mag-multiply. Okay.
But here is where it gets interesting. When you have 4 modules going, the 4 will not have 5, 6. It will have 8.
Okay.
So now you're saying the math.
Yes.
It's exponential.
Yes.
It's not linear.
Yes.
So the 4 becomes 8, 8, 16, 32, 64, 120.
Until it grows and grows.
But we hope that at some point, before it reaches even 128 or 256, the government will see, ang ganda nito.
Yes.
Ito ang gawin nating
example,
schema, ito ang gawin nating
role model,
ito ang gawin nating paraan na where you have legitimate NGOs like the Knights of Rizal.
Yes.
Of course, hindi naman kami magmumonopolize. In fact, the original brainchild is Pilipinas, yung other organization in New Jersey. It's a non-profit. Again, Pilipinas is an acronym. It's called the Federation of Independent Legions of Immigrant Philippine Americans in the North Americas. Filipinas.
Parang Pilipinas ngayon na.
Yes. With an F.
With an F.
Yeah, so you can imagine when I am at events and they introduce me as the President of Filipinas, people turn and look, kala nila si Duterte, kala nila Pilipinas, Presidente ng Pilipinas. I smile and I
Filipinas
wave.
With an F.
Hindi po ito Presidente ng Republic of the Philippines.
Pilipinas as in F.
NGO. And I am here to beg. I'm here to beg for your support because we're doing this and this and that. And the small organization that we have is no way near funded to do the scale we hope to achieve, which is the entire country of the Philippines, only 1,446 municipalities. And we hope that using this program, using legitimate NGOs, now we start with Knights of Rizal. Next, we go to the Rotarians, to the Lions Club, to the Kiwanis, to the JCs.
And all others.
All others. And once we've established the methodology, the government will say, yan yung kay Napoles Kaya lang, tinanggal yung malevolence. Yung mga NGOs are legitimate, real, and with track record. Because an association like the Knights of Rizal will never tolerate shenanigans of their own chapter.
Correct.
Yes.
Because that will bring bad publicity or ruin to the organization.
Yes.
Same with Lions Club. The Lions Club International will never tolerate a bunch of Filipinos. Okay, magagaling kayo but they will never tolerate shenanigans from a Lions Club or a Rotary chapter or a JC's chapter and so on and so forth. So if you do all this and then you have international support, even just among chapters that have Filipino members who become our instant ambassadors and advocates, hopefully they see and hear this and they say, oh, maganda nga yung ginagawa ni Crispin. So member ako ng chapter ng Rotary dito sa New York, for instance.
Yes.
So mag-advocate siya. Sabi niya, sali tayo dun sa Project Dapitan. Ang ganda ng ginagawa nila doon.
Especially if these people that you are able to help, like for example, kung nasimula na dun sa Marawi, are multiplying by itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that will be the ultimate measure of success. Okay, because if they become profitable and become themselves donors, you have not only provided them the dignity of work, but also the dignity of charity.
Yes.
So
Yes. Because they're required to donate
They're
5 to 10%
We're
of
required yan.
their profit. To
Just
the,
like giving
to the
tithes.
others, yeah.
Just
Yes,
like
to the
giving
Paying it
tithes.
forward.
Yes, paying it forward.
You're paying it forward. So
Yes.
that is a very strict requirement.
Yes.
Pag ayaw nyo, hindi kayo kasali dito. You know? So, and there are so many things, the funding source in government, for instance, the 4Ps program. You know, if it were up to us, the 380 or 328 billion pesos that being poured into 4Ps. Can you imagine if those funds were used in livelihood projects? There would be so much work generated in the countryside.
Yes.
And what happens? So sasabihin ng mga elite ng ating society, those who are in control, this is no good if we make them
Independent.
independent. Because you know why? And again, people may not like what I'm about to say. You know, the poverty in the Philippines is intentional.
Intentional.
Because
Please
you-
explain.
It is.
Please enlighten.
It's intentional. You have to keep a certain population
Yes.
down.
In
Because
order for the elite,
during election, you control
they need
them. You control
they need them.
You control them.
Yes.
And I speak about this when I go to the CTO at the level at that module, and I tell them, you are joining a revolution. So sabi nila, bakit na uwi na sa revolution to? Kala ko ba, gagawa lang tayo ng mag-aalaga tayo ng manok, magtatahi tayo, whatever. Ganito po yun eh. Once you are earning, at one location, sabi ko sa kanila, wala namang tao. Pakitaas lang po kamay. Sino po tumanggap ng last election? Abay, lahat nagtaas.
So kumita sila.
So sabi ko ngayon,
So they were under control.
This is what we're hoping. Na once we provide you some livelihood, some income, babalik yung
Candidate. Or whoever.
Hindi na
hugutin
sila.
niyo yung 500 nyo sa palpalin nyo.
Balik na.
Ako naman bigay sa inyo
Yes.
500. Huwag ka na tumakbo. See, I'm no longer for sale.
Yes.
At that point, you have liberated your people.
Yes.
Correct.
By the way po,
Correct.
Doc Chris, tayo po ay napapanood via test broadcast sa Digital Free TV na Aliw Channel 23, sa Sky Cable Channel 72, TV Plus Channel 27, at GMA For the Box Channel 32. Available din po kami sa digital TV devices at TV receivers. Mangyaring scan lamang po ninyo ang inyong digital TV at channel boxes upang mapanood ang Aliw Channel 23.
Yes. Balikan ko lang muna very briefly before we take a break. Yung mangyayari this coming Wednesday.
Yan.
Yes.
So, when we met the Supremo in New Jersey, pinakita ko sa kanya yung white paper. Ganyan. Ang ganda nito. Bakit hindi ko lang ito nakita?
Yes.
So in other words, he decided to implement the pilot site for the Knights of Rizal in his own hometown in Angono.
Ayun.
And right there and then, during a backyard meeting at a barbecue of our chapter commander in New Jersey, Dr. Emmanuel Malasig, sabi niya, dagdagan ko yan.
So,
Because I believe in it.
yes.
Dinagdagan niya ng 100,000.
Okay.
So hindi ko na inuruirat kung personal funds, kung personal funds niya yun o funds niya ng munisipyo. What have we, the other effect is, what have we done in Dulag Leyte? Nung dumating kami, walang municipal agriculturist.
Okay.
Once we implemented the project, sabi ng mayor,
Kailangan ko maglagay,
Kailangan
mag-appoint. Mag-appoint ng
this is the kind
agriculturist.
of effect that this program is having in the countryside.
Yes.
So you just need to replicate this. Wherever we go, if the mayor does not have an they hire an agriculturist. Sabi nga nung mayor sa Dulag, lekat Dok, ang sweldo niya, halos sweldo ko na. Kinahoy ko yan sa Department of Agriculture. Malapit na maging regional
director.
yan.
Pinirate.
niya. So, kaya bawa ko, kay Mayor Mildred Joyke ng Dulag Leyte, we will see you soon. At kami welcome sa Dulag. In fact, when we started in Dulag, we were only able to finance 10. The mayor added 2 modules.
Okay.
Pagkatapos nagbunutan kami dahil nung dumating kami, ang unang alam namin 37 lang na groups ang nag-a-apply.
Okay.
Nung physically nandun na kami,
yes,
109
yes,
na grupo.
yes.
So ang dami. So nasa plaza kami, para may meeting ni Avance, meron kaming fishbowl ng parang pang goldfish, nagbunutan kami.
Yes.
Ang nabunot, alam mo, naglulundag, may umiiyak pa, may tumatakbong mutik pang madapa doon sa antablado.
Yes.
Iyayapos ako. Sabi ko, teka muna, hindi ko po pera yan. Yung 200,000. Yan po nagpasayaw kami, nagpa-basketball kami, nag-fundraising kami sa
Amerika.
Nagpa-bingo,
to raise funds.
Yan po yung utay-utay na magpasalamat po tayo sa ating mga kababayan na Pilipino na hindi po nakalilimot sa kanilang mga kababayan sa ating inang bayan. At yan po ang katotohanan. Nung minsan nagpunta kami sa isang site, may naglagay pa ng tarpaulin. Pakit lang naman.
Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Chris Fernandez. Kung sino nagpagawa ng tarpaulin, nakangiti, nagyayabang. Ako po nagpagawa niyan. Magkano ginastos mo? 400. Kung dinagdag mo na lang yan dito sa livelihood, di mas malayo pa narating.
Kaysa dito
Next time,
huwag na kayong gagawa ng
huwag kayong gagawa
tarpaulin.
Yan. Useless yan. Because hindi ako dito nagpunta para magpa-epal. Nagpunta ako dito para magpakita ng halimbawa na harinawa ay gayahin.
Cascade. I-cascade.
Ang gobyerno. Kasi ang gobyerno, ang pera, bilyones.
Yes.
Ang pera namin, 100,000 lang. At hindi pa ganun kadami yun. Right now, we're at about 1.5 million ang nadideploy namin na funds sa countryside because we have...
At saka, Dr. Chris, yung funds na sinasabi ninyo, out of pockets nitong mga merong big hearts to help.
Yes. And we have to thank every single one of them. You are too many to name. If you have a chance
Doon
to see
sa mga
the show, paratingin ko na sa inyo, nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyong generous hearts. At halimbawa, yung sa Vinsons.
Okay. Magkakaroon lang po tayo ng maikling break, no? So, engineer, are we ready to take a break? Okay. So, wag po kayong alis. Nagwa-warm up pa lang po tayo. At sa ating pagbabalik, itutuloy po natin itong napakagandang proyekto na sinimulan ni Dr. Chris Fernandez at sinusuportahan ng marami sa ating mga PhilAm leaders sa Amerika, lalong-lalo na sa kanyang from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. And abangan nyo po ang mga ilang areas na pupuntahan nila. So sa pagpapatuloy po, maya-maya lang, magbabalik po ang Pilipinas ngayon na pagkaraan lamang po ng ilang mahalagang paalala. The time for your convenience is now 1:29.
Pilipinas, ngayon na!
Babalik po ang Pilipinas ngayon na. Ako po ulit si Lady Eliza at sa pagkakataon pong ito, pahintulutan nyo naman po kaming handugan kayo ng napakatamis na dessert for the soul. Ngunit, garantisadong hindi nakakataas ng blood sugar level, hindi nakaka-diabetes, no carbs, no calories. Better than ice cream, yogurt, halo-halo, leche flan at halaya. At ito po ay nakahain sa pinag-uusapan natin kanina tungkol sa agriculture sa Genesis 1:11. Sinabi po dito, pagkatapos sinabi ng Diyos, magkaroon sa lupa ng lahat ng uri ng tumutubong halamang nagkakabinhi at mga punong namumunga. At nangyari ito. Sa Genesis 1:29-30 sinabi, ibinibigay ko rin sa inyo ang lahat ng uri ng mga halamang nagkakabinhi at mga bungang kahoy bilang pagkain ninyo. Ang lahat ng halamang luntian naman ay binibigay ko sa lahat ng hayop sa ibabaw ng lupa at sa lahat ng mga ibon. In English, Genesis 1:11. Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it was so. And God said, see, I have given you every herb that yields seed which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it shall be for food, also to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life. I have given every green herb for food, and it was so. Dr. Chris, kasi diba, malaking
Praise be the Lord, yes.
Yes, malaking parte ng Philippine economy or sector is agriculture, diba? When we speak of agriculture, we say crops like palay, rice, coconut, sugarcane, cassava, corn. Marami po ba ang dapitan project na may kinalaman sa agriculture?
Some of the crops na mention mo are very capital intensive. So that will require the act of government.
Okay.
So ang ginagawa kasi namin, because it's a small module, no, 200,000 pesos lang ang kaya niya. For instance, the one in Dulag, we call it integrated modified. Kasi meron siyang vegetables. Yung vegetables, part of it is being sold at the Kadiwa Center. That's also another point na gusto namin, no? Yung site malapit sa Kadiwa Center para matanggal yung middleman.
Yes. At
From
yung
farm
transport
to the terminal.
Farm to market road.
Farm to market.
So, yung gulay, part of it, pinapakain dun sa tilapia. Kasi may tilapia siya. So, integrated.
Integrated.
Yun.
May
Fish
fish.
pan.
Tapos yung meron din siyang manok. Yung pupo ng manok, tinutuyo, ginagawang fertilizer nung
gulay.
Kasi symbiotic sila.
Symbiotic relationship.
So, lahat yun, walang tapon.
Yung food cycle, balikan.
Ito, na-develop ito dun sa Dulag. And when we were speaking of funding, for instance, one of the best things that happened during this endeavor was when we were able to convince the mission appeal in the Diocese of Patterson in New Jersey, na yung bishop doon, kinausap natin na pwede ba tayong ma-enroll dyan sa inyong mission appeal. No? It's basically within the diocese, meron silang allotment every year na kung saan lupalop na napapadala yung mga funding na yan. So, naki-apply tayo.
Yes, nag-grant naman.
Nag-grant naman. Sabi niya, sa'yo ko ba ibibigay yung check? Sabi ko, no, I never touch the money. Kanino ko bibigay?
Sa foundation.
Sabi ko, pwede na po ba doon sa Archbishop of Palo? Archbishop of Palo? Catholic Church? Yes. I-wire nyo dun sa Archbishop of Palo. Siya ang magdi-disburse ng pera. At ang di-disburse niya, puro inputs. Puro nag-deliver ng fertilizer, bayad. Nag-deliver ng pesticide, bayad.
Product na. Para hindi hahawakan ng tao yung cash.
Kasi baka may tong-its o
may taya sa
may wedding.
Na-acquire na yung mga kailangan.
All the inputs. Puro inputs. In fact, in one of the conversations, sabi ng mga beneficiary, paano naman yan, Doc? 6 to 8 months, 9 months, kami maghihintay bago kami magkakaroon ng profit. Okay. Right now, may profit ba kayo?
Okay, so wala. Better than nothing, di ba? As compared to zero profit.
You have to be patient.
Yes.
Seed, time, and harvest.
Sabi ko, God has already said yes.
Flow. I-flow mo muna yung field.
Nagdasal kayo. Sinagot na ng God ang dasal.
Prayers nyo.
Meron na tayong opportunity. So, arugain nyo, alagaan nyo.
Waiting time.
6 to 9 months.
Harvest time.
Harvest time.
Meron silang notebook. Dumating si Pedro, nagdilig ng kalahating oras. Maya-maya, dumating si Petra, nagbunot ng mga weeds. Nagtrabaho siya ng 4 hours. All of those hours are accumulated. Palagay natin, for example, 5,000 hours. Dating na nung nabenta na sa Kadiwa Center yung mga products, magbibilangan, si Pedro, 0.5 hours lang, 5 pesos lang siguro yun.
Allotment.
Yun ang scope ng kanyang katamaran.
Yes.
Hindi naman nangyayari.
So it's about you.
10 hours, kung paano mo na, yun ang contribution mo doon. Yun ang share mo.
Yun ang share.
Depending on the amount of hours that you put in. And that's all documented. Quite easily by the President, Treasurer, and the Secretary. Na si Pedro ng trabaho nga dito.
May timeline.
May time sila. Kasi yung mga iba, medyo ako naman. Kasi paday ka nga. Diba? So
may daily
equal
activity
chance.
report.
So now, people are learning to work together. And this is what we want with Project Dapitan. You know, we don't just give it to an individual. We create an environment where people
will work together. Yung bayanihan spirit.
And unify themselves.
Because in the end, if you
silang makikinabang as a community.
Collaboration.
In the end, all these modules, if they are adjacent to each other within the same
region,
for instance, pag bumili sila ng fertilizer, truck ang dadating na fertilizer. So ngayon, you have economies of scale, you have leverage. Kaysa sa kung isang tao ka lang o isang pamilya ka lang, nabibili ka ng fertilizer na 1 kilo.
Mas mahal yun. Mas mahal yun.
So that is
Ito,
also
volume.
Yes.
So yun ang ina-encourage natin sa mga
Full buying ang
kasama yan sa
mangyayari.
financial literacy.
Ayun.
Sino po ba marunong sa inyo ng arithmetic? Ako po naka-grade 6. Nag-studio na tayo sa 200,000. Nirelease yung 10. Ilan na natira? Gawa siya. 190. O tama. Correct naman.
Yes. So alam nila rin kung saan napupunta yung
mag-balance ang checkbook.
pondo.
So,
Yes.
merong financial literacy, may lecture tungkol sa paano ba mag-budget. Income versus
Magaling mo dyan si Eliza mag-budget.
ang karaniwang
Home economics.
Okay. Income versus expenses
Yes.
equals savings.
Yes.
Wrong formula.
Oo.
Wrong formula.
Kasi,
This is income minus savings,
Minus
and then you have
savings.
expenses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because what are you saving for? The future.
The future.
The education of your children,
Yes.
your health,
Yes.
your financial well-being.
Yes.
Baka may
And
Yes.
emergency.
emergencies,
Yes.
may nagkasakit na ospital, namatay. Meron tayong huhugutin. So, yun
From the
muna.
savings.
Yung pag natapos na yun, meron ka natira, yun ngayon ang pwede mong
Doon mo, yung
gusto
pagkasyahin
gastusin,
mo.
no? Kaya imbis na iPhone bibilin mo, Huawei na lang.
Yes.
O galing na lang sa
Oo.
Magnanakaw,
Yes.
ay whatever. GSM.
Live, hindi nga within your means, below your means. Kung
Below your means.
kung
Most of the time
maaari,
is below your means.
live below
Yes.
your means.
Below your means. Yun ang
Para mas malaki yung savings.
yes. So, it's amazing how
So maganda yung may financial
financially illiterate
literacy na
people are in
tinuturo.
the countryside.
Okay. Gusto ko lang po maitanong, in all of these projects that you are engaged or involved in, si Mrs. Fernandez po ba na nandyan
Hello,
naka-full
Mrs.
support?
Fernandez.
Yan ang haligi.
Yes.
Siya na rin po ang treasurer.
Siya ang
Disbursing officer.
Siya nag-try papunta dito.
Ayun. Okay.
I mean, that's just a trivial example or illustration of what she does. You know, of course, syempre, it takes time away from our family. our
Correct. I was
grandchildren,
about to ask that.
Our
Yeah.
grandchildren. For instance, here, we are here for 5-6 weeks. We miss our hello Emma, Logran, and Wyatt.
Oh,
Yeah.
so tatlo na po. Tatlo na ang grandchildren
Tatlo
nyo.
na.
Sa
Aba, may
Pennsylvania, nandun sila
apostolic
lahat.
Yes,
duty
and
na pala kayo
we have two in
pagbabalik.
the oven. Malapit na.
Oh,
hopefully.
wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
When it takes your time, si Mrs. Fernandez is there to support you all the way.
absolutely.
Yes.
Without her, none of this would be possible.
Yes.
Yan ang definite na...
Next time pala, siya naman ay interviewin namin.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So
Si
she
Mrs.
can-
Fernandez.
O ganyan.
Yes.
So, obvious, ang ano natin dito is, eventually, sana magkaroon ng policy change.
Yes.
Because we're trying to illustrate how this can be done. And
Yeah.
the only entity or
Agency.
agency or capable
government.
of having it meaningfully scaled to a level where we will have a prosperous country is the government.
Yes.
Yan tinatawag ko na patriotic economics.
Ayun, doon pumapasok yun.
Yes, yes. Because, for instance, if you were to pass a law mandating that all budgets of LGUs, cities, provinces, and the national government were to allot 10% of the GAA or the local government, katulad ng sa disaster risk reduction and mitigation,
Yes.
meron silang 10% na
Allocated budget
yan,
doon.
required yan.
Yes.
You cannot violate that. You have to
Yes,
allocate
yes.
10%. So, of course, 10% of anything is a lot to ask. No? So, just to start change, okay, let's start at 1%. Let's start at a quarter of 1%. Just start.
Just start.
For Pete's sake,
Yes. Yes.
just start. At once we do this and we use this mechanism where we have yung tinatawag na RACI schema, yung responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. No? We have that schema within the Project Dapitan. Ang dami-dami ng araw kung saan parang mga bulati na, no, na you would require a conspiracy of unimaginable scale for them to even begin to do the benevolent part of what might happen here. Kasi if you're going to have to inform the chapter commander, for instance, in this example, no, ng KOR, na bibili kayo ng fertilizer at nalaman niya dahil informed siya. Siyempre, pag bago kayo bumili, meron na kayong mga
Arrangement. Canvas.
Cost
na kayo.
Canvas.
Bidding,
Yes.
ganun, no?
Yeah.
So, mga ganyan, makikita natin na with the kind of accountability and transparency, marami tayong benefit na maibababa sa ibaba ng ating lipunan. No? Kasi in fact, even when fundraising, yan ang una-una sinasabi sa akin ng mga nilalapitan natin na kanino mo bibigay ang pera?
Sa bishop
Sasagot ko, bishop paano ngayon? Meron ba ba? Well, sa Marawi siguro baka
sa imam.
Imam. So if that has to be the case, then we will do that. But in that illustration that I gave you, that's actually the Catholic Church collaborating with government when they're supposed to be separate.
Yes, but this is one area that they can
collaborate.
Instead of separation of church and state.
Pagdating
dito,
sa livelihood, joint venture.
Magtulungan. So,
joint effort.
Wala naman sa constitution na may separation of church and state. Pagdating sa livelihood projects and bayanihan spirit di ba?
For example, in the United States, there are 144 dioceses and we've only approached one. So, sabi ko, kung makasampu na lang tayo doon out of the 144, you can just imagine, yung aming mission appeal from the Diocese of Patterson resulted in 450,000 pesos. So times 10, that's 4.5 million, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But then there are other, kind-hearted individuals like I'm just not at liberty to reveal her name kasi mabububog siya sa solicitation.
Katakot-takot magsusulat doon at hihingi ng solicitation.
Out of her good heart, maglalagay tayo sa Marawi, maglalagay tayo sa Pulo Pandan, so which will make the deployment of this project into 5 provinces, and we would become situated in the entire archipelago na Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So yung isang grupo namin sa Vinsons, Camarines Norte is actually funds raised from my own alumni, mga medical
mga classmates
ko. And again, salamat mga classmates. It took us 1 day to raise 200,000. That was amazing. God bless you all.
Yes. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
I bow my heads to all of you. At kayo ay mga God-fearing and God-loving.
Marami kayong matutulungan na mga kababayan natin.
Ganyan lang mga kailangan natin na usap-usapan na because if we concentrate on doing this one thing, and we can convince government, katulad nung halimbawa, kinondon ni President Marcos yung 58 billion of loans ng mga farmers. That is a baby step towards the ultimate goal. Tapos itong ating mga sa DIR, ang ating CARP, na we give 8 hectares there, 3 hectares there. Diyos por santo, sana gawin ninyong contiguous yung lupa para magkaroon ng economies of scale.
Yes, para kung connected.
You keep a community, you actually create a community.
Interconnected sila.
Doon ka 8 hectares ka doon.
Ang layo-layo.
And this is what I call design failure. Kasi yun ang kami. Again, people excuse me, this is a grand design na talagang tapakan yung mga nasa ibaba. At yung binabato ng mga bone, yung nasabi nga natin, yung balato, is not intended to really make them prosper. It's just intended to make them more bitter in the end.
And then they're under your control.
Yes, they remain under their control. So, yan ang patriotic economics in action.
You don't give them fish. Teach them how to fish.
Correct. You teach them how to fish.
Yes.
And nung minsan nga, may nag-propose sa akin na gusto rin nilang maglagay ng farm, na fish farm. So, tinignan ko yung budget. Nagsimula sa 5 million, naging 1.7 million. Sinuyod ko pa rin. Sabi ko, bakit may caretaker? 70,000 ang sweldo ng caretaker. Teka muna, akala ko ba ang intention ng Project Dapitan is magtulungan yung mga beneficiary? Bakit may ibang magbabantay? Bakit may sila dapat ang caretaker, hindi ubra yung sabi meron pa, may catering pa dito. Sabi, Dok, alam mo dito pag organize ka ng financial literacy, kailangan
magpakain.
Kahit na lugaw.
So
kung lugaw, okay lang sana yun.
Mura lang naman yung budget. Kaya lang sabi niya, Dok, ikaw alam mo naman kung ilang tao yung pinapakain natin, naka-enroll lahat sila. So you know where this is going. And mura lang yan pag inisip mo dahil ang dami niya, 3 meals yan. Breakfast, lunch, kasi buong araw yung
yung forum,
seminar, yung forum, no? So, okay, hindi naman siguro steak yan, no? Hindi naman daw.
So at least, pwede input sa budget.
Yung mga ganun, kumbaga, that's how, strict we are in screening the proposal, the budget, and so on and so forth. Kaya hopefully with enough the patriots, I appeal to all our leaders, our people in Congress, of course the office of the President. I'm sure your heart is already in the right place by condoning the 58 billion pesos owed by our farmers. That is a baby step, and I dare you to take a giant leap, Mr. President, and fund Project Dapitan.
I think one of the reasons why the President took in his heart yung agriculture portfolio is really to look into this. So doon makikita natin yung heart desire niya, no? Tulungan talaga yung mga nasa laylayan tsaka yung mga farmers.
And you can see the sharks that are swimming around, right? I mean, you look at the price of sibuyas, now we're about to experience it with garlic and so on and so forth. Ang mga kalaban, yung mga unpatriotic economics, ang dami. Naglipa na yan sila. No? Sabi, important. Sinabi nung nirelease yung iba, bigla nandyan na. Yung pala, nasa Pilipinas na dati yung mga sibuyas na yun, nakatago.
Yes. Naka-hoard.
Bakit biglang dumating yan? Bilis naman ng barko na yan. May pakpak yung mga barko eh.
Andyan na kagad.
Paano nakarating? But we love about these things.
Ang galing talaga ng mga Pinoy.
Yun ang,
so yun yung tinatawag na unpatriotic
economics. Kasi puro sarili lang ang iniintindi. At wala po tayong malasakit sa mga naiipit, lalo na yung mga marginal, yung kokonti lang ang kita. Sabi nga, magluluto ako, wala ng sibuyas, 600 a kilo.
Marami nagsasabi ngayon, hindi na sila gumagamit ng sibuyas. At saka yung mga nagpakamatay na sibuyas farmers,
yung pa pala. Alam nyo ba na maraming nag-suicide?
Dahil nalugi na yung kanilang. And also, that's a product na kailangan intindihin din. And when we talk about these things with government, we try to tell them, mature the insurance schemes that cover agriculture and fisheries. No? Kasi sa ngayon, I was saddened to learn na ang sistema pa lang ng insurance ng agriculture is for yung insurance company na nag-i-issue nung policy, naghihintay sila na medyo mature na yung tinanim bago nila i-insure. So, they will insure something
nagsisigurado.
Sobrang nagsisiguro sila.
So, to illustrate, in America, if you are, let's say, yung wheat.
Potato.
Wheat or potato, that would be a very good example.
Potato farmer.
Government has a scheme of insurance where when they, kasi mahusay sila ng data. So nakikita nila na there will be an overproduction of wheat or potatoes. And they will actually approach farmers and tell them, don't plant. And then they have a record of that farm's output. Kasi may data. Which is also another weakness that we have in this country. We have poor data collection. So, without data, I don't even know how they decide to spend 5.26 trillion pesos without data. So, medyo nakakalungkot. So, they have that kind of scheme, na program, they will approach the farmer in that particular region na hindi pa dumadating yung planting season, sasabihin nila, wag na kayo magtanim niyan kasi pare-para kayo lulubog.
At malulugi kayo.
Lahat.
Mag-oversupply.
So, magkano ba kinita mo nung nakaraan? Tingnan natin yung income tax return mo. Ano ba i-declare mo? Ito na yung subsidy namin.
Bibigyan na ng subsidy. Kesa magkaroon ng overproduction.
Kesa mag-overproduction, which will ruin the whole
system. The whole crop.
Bayad na lang kami. Bayad na lang kita. So,
subsidy.
That's a pie in the sky. Malayo pa tayo bago tayo makarating sa ganyan.
Galing
These are things that we need to explore. It doesn't take rocket science. All the information is on the internet.
Yes. So, at the click of a finger,
all you can need is patriotism in economics, patriotic economics. Mahalin natin ang ating bayan, ang ating mga kababayan. Pag nandun na yung puso sa tamang lugar, hindi po doon sa tumbong,
aasenso tayo.
We will become a tiger once more. And we will roar as we used to right after the First World War. Now we were the envy of our neighbors. Just porsyento, hindi na lang, medyo trivia. BTS, look at that. Come on, give me a break, guys. Ang daming mga gwapong Pilipino na magagaling pa sumayaw, kumanta na BTS. Pati tayo nanonood ng BTS. Ano ba naman yan? Bagay, may SB19 na. Pero, all of this,
Updated si Doc.
all of this frustration ko yan eh. All of this happened in Korea because the government decided they will export entertainment.
Yes.
May turn it into industry and magpapasok yan ang dolyar. So nagkaroon sila ng Parasite, Squid Game, whatever na mga halos ang Netflix,
Mga
puro
Korean
puro K-pop.
movies.
Yeah, telenovelas and everything.
This is government. And look at our Senate, my God. Ilan ang artista dyan?
Apat.
And yet, you don't introduce legislation towards
Entertainment
exporting.
industry.
I mean, come on, guys. You know, will it take someone like me to come to you and slap you in the face and tell you, wake up? You know, Pag binoto kayo at be good for something, right? Artista ka, i-promote mo yung industry mo. Diba? And we export it. We have to have servers and computers. We already have the graphic artists. Yung mga
ang gagaling nga
galing na animation.
Kinukuha sa abroad.
Yes. Yung mga ating graphic
animation.
artists. Animation. Yung the most popular one was Up. Yung movie na may house na may mga balloon. Ang daming mga Filipino graphic artists na collaborate doon. And we are perfectly capable. No, ang problema nga lang natin is funding. No, so kung ang gobyerno natin makita yan, and this applies to agriculture, to segue into the topic, we just need patriotic economics. Just for that's all.
Tama. So, yan. Sa lahat po ng nanonood, nakikinig sa atin ngayon, we learned one thing another for this day. Patriotic economy. Economics. Because kung nasa puso po natin ang patriotism, just like Jose Rizal, hindi papasok ang greed.
Yes.
At maiiwasan po natin ang dati nating sinasabing parang mga talangka na crab mentality, no?
Hinihilang pababa.
So, doon masisimulan na po natin ang tunay na pagbabago towards prosperity.
Happy birthday to Chris Lane Di Malanta, our social media writer, and pasalamatan na rin po natin ang ating nakatuwang sa broadcast led by Engineer Juna Guba, Jeric Barreto, sa CA naman po si Miss May Salino, Dayon, Jessa Barameda, sa SOCMED naman po si Kim Gomez, Jam Tarayo, Allen Ibanez, Elaine Di Malanta, writers Jen Patrolia, Mara Valle, Ariam Sanchez, Rashid Locsin. Next program po is Stories of Love with Mara Valle. Tutukan po. Thank you so much.
Damang-dama na natin
sa
yung
ating Chairman D. Edgar A.
February.
Camangon.
Yung month of February, di ba?
I think we have to sign up na. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Chris Fernandez, for your precious time. Yes. Truly an honor. This is Lady Eliza saying thank you all so much for your participation, for your precious time. Enjoy God's very best daily because He loves you very, very
much. Nakikinig daw po si Brian Montances na miyembro rin ng Knights of Rizal mula sa San Mateo.
Hello, Mr. Rayo Lao of El Pueblo Publico.
Okay,
yes.
So
to give way to
our
break.
Meron po tayo kasing bagong format
yes.
na kung saan ito po yung circle ng aming pong bagong sinusunod na programming, whereby 2 minutes before the end of our program, we really have to give way to our commercials and important announcement. So until next Wednesday, ito po si Robert Rivera saying tutukan niyo pong muli at subaybayan ang isa na namang edisyon ng Pilipinas ngayon na. And until then, as I always say also, don't forget to do good and to share, for it is in so doing that God is well pleased. Maraming pong salamat sa ating pong distinguished guest, Dr. Chris Fernandez. At binigyan niyo kami ng panibagong word, patriotic economics. Alright. So magkita-kita po tayong muli sa susunod na Wednesday. Until then, the time for your convenience is now 1:59. Mabuhay!
Thank you so much.
Pilipinas, ngayon na!